Good morning, people. It's your man Joshua Pondexter coming to you live from the center of the world, Chicagoland, right? Listen, we're talking about the three foundations of wealth building, right? So we earlier, the last time we went live, we were talking about um, choosing a tax advisor, a tax preparer, how they're choosing the right person could save you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on, your personal income, right? So it's very important that you choose the right tax advisor, the tax strategist, right, to help you put those tax dollars back into your pocket. Now, once we got plenty of videos on YouTube that talks about tax reduction strategies and how to reduce your tax liability. And then once you uh, save that money, 50, 60, 70% of your tax liability, what are you going to do with that money, right? You're going to use it to build wealth. So we need to understand what are the three foundations of wealth building. Okay. Now, it's more than just one thing, right? The three foundations of wealth building. Number one is compound interest. Number two is leverage. Number three is velocity, right? So these are the three pillars of wealth building, right? And we use the word building intentionally because it's not a quick process, right? So let's look at number one, compound interest. Everybody's familiar with compound interest, and the reason that we don't like to deal with it because it's so slow, right? So let's look at share my screen. Okay, I have a compound interest calculator here we want to share with you. All right, so say for instance, you make $80,000 a year, and 10% of that's $8,000 times three, $24,000 tax liability, state and federal. So let's say if we're able to save you 15,000 in taxes on that, right? And then every year you save that $15,000 and you put it in your investment account, right? So now, how many years you got? 20 years. This ain't no slow it's a slow boat to China, right? 15. This is your tax saving. Are you not a millionaire after uh, 20 years? Yes, you are, according to this. But it's like, Joshua, where can we get 10% in? The market, the American market for the last 100 years have averaged about 10%. That's the average, right? So if you save for the long haul, right? But that's too slow. But it works, right? And one of the things that you have to take in consideration with compound interest. Let me add this back to one of the things that you have to look out with compound interest, because this is the first building block, and you need that compound interest to get you moving forward, is that where are you going to put that money and not get compound fees, right? Compound interest makes the money grow. Compound fees take money away, right? So you want to make sure where you put in your money, you're getting the maximum return on your money. So if you put it at Wall Street got a bunch of buildings. They got a bunch of guys in suits. They got to be paid. They got yachts. They got things of this nature. Do you think that they're going to let you get 20% return, 30% return in 1 year and not skim off the top? I have seen people accounts where they had a portfolio of mutual funds, and that portfolio was averaging 22% for that year, and they gave those people 2%. So compound interest, powerful, one of the most powerful forces in the universe, right? But you got to watch out for them fees, right? Because that's what takes your wealth away. Compound interest is critical. It's slow, right? So the second building block is leverage, right? So now you have to leverage that. So leverage is what happens when you earn interest on not just your money, but someone else's money, right? So who's in the business of letting you use their money? The banks, right? So if you are a consumer, they give you a credit card, right? That's high interest. It's kind of hard to leverage that to make some money, right? Business owners and investors can utilize this strategy very well, right? So you go to the bank, you put $10,000 in the bank, right? You got your business, so you got skin in the game. You got a nice business plan. You got excellent credit score. And the bank said, okay, wow, you got $100,000 that I can lend to you at 8%, right? So now you got to go take that money and make 12% on it, or 20%, whatever, 15, whatever you can make to leverage that money, right? So now you are leveraging that money. And then it's time for velocity, compound interest, leverage, right? So you're using compound interest, right? And then also you're using leverage where you taking loans from the bank, and then you are making money with that money. You bought equipment for your business. You bought real estate, whatever. You got to leverage that money, right? And then velocity, right? So what is velocity? Velocity is you got compound interest working, you got leverage working, and then you are keeping it going. You're building momentum, right? And so in order for you to go faster and faster, creating this velocity, you need to gain knowledge and experience, right? Knowledge and experience will get rid of the risk. So it's like going around driving a Formula One race car. You need to have knowledge and experience how to keep going around that track. Flying a jet plane, right? You need to have knowledge and experience, right? And then the key is keeping your money moving, right? So if you got your money sitting at compound interest, it ain't moving that fast, right? But it's moving. Then you leverage the money, you're keeping it moving, and then you use some velocity, right? Leverage your earnings equals velocity. So now what I've done, I have utilized compound interest. I went got some loans so I can make some other money. I'm using other people's money, right? And now I'm leveraged and I'm making interest on that. And then velocity, I keep doing it over and over and over again. I can go faster and faster because I'm gaining knowledge. I'm getting more financial literate about taxes, about business. That's financial literacy. Talking about credit cards and checking accounts and savings. That's not no financial literacy. Don't take much to do that, but to understand these three fundamental building blocks, that's is critical. Listen, it's no get rich scheme. If I gave you $10 million, Thanos snap, you got $10 million, you'll be broke before the end of the year. I give that example to my clients all the time. I say, hey, let me give you $10 million. What you going to do with it? And as soon as they start telling me what they about getting ready to buy, I know they're going to be broke. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy a building. I'm going to buy a factory. No, you don't need to buy anything. That's $10 million, 6% interest. What is that? $600,000 a year. You don't need none of this. You don't need any leverage. You don't need any velocity. You already $600,000 a year. You cannot live well with that. You're about to go broke unless you take 3 to 5 years off and begin to learn some knowledge about something, right? So once again, these are the three pillars for building wealth. And understand, you must have knowledge and experience, and all three are compound interest. That means that you're dealing with the bank, the investment bankers, and they have a business model, and their business model is making money for themselves first, you second, right? And if the only way that you going to interact with them successfully is knowing how they operate and making sure that you get the maximum amount of your interest. Leverage, right? Leverage is taking a loan from the bank, 8%, $100,000, 8%. I know I owe them $8,000. So at the end of the year, I got to pay them $8,000. I leveraged that money, made 12% on it. I made $12,000. I net $4,000. Leverage, right? And so then velocity is to keep leveraging my earnings or my interest, right? So I'm earning from my leverage, and I keep leveraging that over and over and over again. It's that simple, but it takes time. It takes discipline. It takes dedication, right? There's no getting rich quick. If it does, you'll be like a lottery pick, right? You'll be broke for certain in a few years, because the first thing they go do is go buy this big primary residence, right? Which has no value. So listen, 3 pillars: compound interest, leverage, velocity, right? And when we're talking about borrowing from the bank, we're not talking about infinite banking, buying some life insurance. We're not velocity. We're not talking about velocity banking. We're talking about understanding how money works, having the knowledge, the skill to put your earnings to work for yourself. It takes knowledge, right? It takes time, it takes skill. Don't get in a hurry. JoshuaPondexter.com. If you want to take advantage of the wealth building strategy that we have, the basis of the strategy is that you utilize your tax dollars, right? If you're earning well, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 plus, you have a serious tax problem, right? So that's where your wealth is going, right? So we just showed you. Let me show you this once again, so you can really see where your wealth is going. So you're leaving $15,000 a year with Uncle Sam, and you do that over a 20-year period, right? That's $1 million. See, can you not see where your millions are? So the total that we put in here, $239,061, right? The rest of it is interest. Unbelievable principal, interest. The principal that you put in was just $239,000 over that 20-month period. That's the power of compound interest. 20 years, right? People get tired after 20 years. So what are you going to do? You're going to stay the course. It takes discipline. It takes time to do this type of, to build some wealth. Those are the 3 building blocks that we wanted to share with you. And if you want to know how to implement them in your personal life, we ask that you contact us at joshuapondexter.com, and we can help you implement these strategies safely, help you educate yourself, tell you what you should be reading, telling you what you should be practicing so that you can be in control, right? We'll tell you why to watch out for these minefields out here, that these bandits, all of those type of things, right? Good morning. Have a beautiful day. Joshua Pondexter, I'm signing off. Peace, love, and soul. Bye for now.